She wore blue velvet, bluer than velvet were her eyes. The fact is, I love to see craftsmanship. I love to see craft.
She wore blue velvet, bluer than velvet were her eyes, warmer than May her tender sighs. Love was ours, ours, love I held tightly.
I think what I do is that at least I try. And I love that part in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest when Jack Nicholson tries to lift the big basin and he doesn't do it. And he turns around and he looks at the rest of them and he says, at least I tried. And that's what I think I do, is that at least I'm prepared to paint and put it up on the wall, and you can have a go at it if you like.
There's a man going round taking names, and he decides who to free and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same. There'll be a golden ladder reaching down when the man comes around.
I found a place full of charms, a magic world in my baby's arms, her soft embrace like satin and lace, a wondrous place, what a spot in a star.
I'm like a director, but you don't get a movie from me, you just get one shot. It's a kind of nostalgia, purely escapism. It just takes you somewhere else.
Wondrous place, man, I'm nowhere when I'm anywhere else. But
I'm usually painting by 5 o'clock, you know, steal a march on the world and get up early and get on with the bloody job.
tender hands on my face.
I paint in this bay window. I'm not somebody who, you know, who throws his paint around and, you know, buckets of this and rolls of canvas and stuff. Everything is fairly tight. So I knew that if I was tidy enough, this would do me just nicely.
What's this one called?
This painting's called For My Lover. And it's really to do with the fine art of preparing yourself for courtship. I say that tongue in cheek, but we're no different from any other species, is that when we want to meet a member of the opposite sex or even same sex, is that we make ourselves look as good as we can. And this woman is painting her toenails, and it's called For My Lover. And she's having a glass of wine because you know, she knows that the night's going to go quite well, or she hopes the night's going to go quite well. In the early days, I can recall a critic saying, Jack Vetrano is not a painter, he just colours in. And another one saying, Jack Vetrano is a painter by numbers. And I just find that arrogance to be breathtaking, really breathtaking, because that to me is not criticism. That's almost violence. I personally
going to get there?
It might happen now and again. British Gas are after me. I was born in November 1951. I lived in a town called Methil. But at that time, that area of Fife relied completely on coal mining. And my father was a coal miner, my grandfather was a coal miner, and it was pretty poor. Me and my brother had to share a bed, and the bathroom, I remember, was kept immaculately clean for visitors. So my dad had to shave at the kitchen sink. And all my father ever said to me was, look, get a trade, just get a trade. And I was down the pits at 16. I think the only people that romanticise about working down a pit are people that never worked down a pit. You know, it's hellish, it really is hellish. And I paint what I paint because it's escapism. And for me, what romance was fur coats and cigarette holders and nylons and stilettos and makeup. You know, that's what I paint. Well, having never attended art classes for any length of time, I think that I realised fairly early on that I don't want to work with anybody around me. I don't want to have a model sitting there for 3 days at a time. I want the photographs taken, and I want her out of here. You know, when I first started to get recognition, I felt a bit fraudulent about working from photographs. But I think that most artists do. Hiya, Cara.
Hi, Jack.
Hiya. First floor, come up.
Coming.
Hello.
Hiya.
How are you? All
Lovely
right.
to see you
Good
again.
to see you.
Come on in. I'll get you a cup of tea in a second.
Oh, I love this room.
We've got, I think, about 6 outfits for you to try.
Outfit number 1.
Oh my God,
I like this.
that is lovely.
I really
Right,
like
what colour is that? What would you call that? Is that
Well,
cerise?
I would say fuchsia, but
But I can't spell fuchsia.
fuchsia. No, neither can I. I suppose secretly I'd quite like a dark, oomphy picture by Jack. I would say the dark side, the Seven Sins side. But I've got a feeling there's a car involved. I've had lots of photo shoots done in the past and seen photos of myself, but never a painting, and I think what a lovely thing to have. Not that I'm getting it. I don't think he said I can have it.
Dance me to your beauty with a burning violin.
I love this one.
As Marlon Brando said in a film, I think I could have been a contender.
Yeah.
That could be a contender.
I think this is a real...
Yeah.
Be my homeward dove. Dance me to the end of love. Dance me to the end of...
I think I've made a mistake with that. Oh, God, I'm glad this is the last one. Ooh. What are you doing on Saturday? I love that because I think that it's going to be a grey day in London and you're going to be in a grey mood, and I just love this splash of colour. Right, well, thanks very much. That was great. That was great. So,
I'll see you...
Friday, 11 o'clock.
Okay,
So,
I look forward to
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Thank you, lovely.
We'll have a good day. Right, I'll see you then.
too. I'll see you on
okay,
Friday.
right. Take
Look
care.
forward to it.
Bye.
Lots of love.
I was painting a lot of paintings to do with love and affection, betrayal, you know, just everyday things that we all do, or some of us do. I was busy painting people in bedrooms and bars and stuff. And then I thought, where do people who fall in love, where are they drawn to? They're clearly drawn to beaches. Most people, given the opportunity, would dance on a beach with the one they love, with a butler sheltering them from the rain. You put that up on the wall and perhaps it gives you some hope. It would be churlish of me to say that I'm not proud of that painting, but it's got me into a few scrapes because I painted the figures directly out of Artist and Illustrator's manual, and then somebody came across it and went to a newspaper in Scotland and said, here's what he's done. And they made a huge thing out of, you know, oh, he's copied this, he's copied that, he's done that. And I said, look, that's what the book was for. I don't say this lightly. The public support for me has been astonishing. I've never denied that that I would like recognition from the National Galleries of Scotland or Tate. I often think that where would you rather be? Would you rather be hanging on people's walls, or would you rather be in the basement of the Tate? I don't think that the art establishment take sex seriously. In this country, we're still thinking that, ooh, sex, oh no, that's not serious. That's not serious. If I were to paint industrial decline or inner city drug abuse, you can't help but think that might be taken quite seriously. But a woman painting her toenails for her lover, that's just Benny Hill.
Dance me to your beauty with a burning violin. Dance me through the panic till I'm gathered safely in. Lift me like an olive branch.
I like to think I'm very considerate when I'm working with models, insofar as, you know, I always tell them what the idea is. Perhaps you know, maybe looking like a streetwalker or something, so that they don't get the sense of being exploited in any way, you know.
Let me see your beauty when the witnesses are gone.
And there have been women who have said, no, I'd rather not do that. You know, that doesn't seem right for me, which I've always thought quite odd. Because in the acting profession, I mean, nobody thinks that Sharon Stone really goes around without pants on. Lovely to see you.
So good to see you.
You're looking good.
Thank you.
Right,
Wow.
John, come in. This is Cara Toynton. This is John Swanell.
Nice to see you too.
British icon, British icon, British icon, and some obscure painter. once had a relationship with somebody who I shouldn't have had a relationship with. And we used to meet, we both used to drive to a certain spot. And then one day she just never turned up. But the idea is that I want Cara to be playing the role that I was playing at that point in time. And so I'm trying to create, you know, this beautiful woman who's about to be terribly, terribly disappointed. I often put women in my paintings to play the role that I would be playing, because I'm a wee bit shy about saying, I got my heart broken on summer. So I make it a woman so that I get off the hook. And I don't have to say, oh yeah, that's me dumped again.
I've been having an affair for quite some time. We've been meeting at this particular venue all through the summer. And this evening, the guy is not going to turn up. And there's a lot of heartbreak in that. So it's quite a sad story. So I've got to channel sad thoughts of, you know, she's going to get her heart broken.
No, that's okay. Just push that. Okay, just turn your head to the mirror.
Can you close your mouth in some of them? I'm not very good at doing teeth. John, this is my job.
Sorry?
This is my job.
Good. And then just over your shoulder again. Just a...
John Sonnell's taking over my job. But he is good. When I first became a painter, that is a professional painter, up until then, I just copied paintings because I didn't have any ideas.
Just try it. Being a bit impatient. Just stick that hand on your hip. Yeah, just a bit impatient. That's lovely, yeah.
What is it that means anything to you? Because I mean, I do believe that as an artist, there has to be a degree of integrity. The work has to come from here, you know. And I thought, the things that move me have been in front of me all my life. They're called women. Cara, could you lean back? Yeah.
It's lovely. Nice. It's got a nice mood to it.
Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me?
Hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill, and I know a spot right over the hill. There's soda pop and the...
Right, that's me, ready to roll. And here we go. You just really hope that you've got your colours right. You know, I'm one of the few painters who paint in a realist and figurative way, and this is my territory, and I will defend it, and I'll try to look after it until I stop breathing.
Fairly well, honey, fairly well. I hit a man.
I must confess to you, I'm not too pleased with the colour of this chrome. You know, I'm really not. I'm sorry, I'm slightly distracted here. Oh, Christ. The problem is this area here, is that this is supposed to be chrome, and then when I look at that, there's a section there that is not. That's the colour of the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a rag, and I'm going to lift that paint right out of there and try and get this colour, the colour of the car, down there in a strip. That's just what you would call an irritation, because it's not as though I've never painted before. You know, I ought to know what I'm doing. So, yeah, I'm a wee bit disappointed in myself for getting this wrong. Yesterday was just a bit of a bloody nightmare, because, oh shit. Oh, bugger it. I've just put too much. I forgot that the brush had turps on it.
You don't feel you're having a very good day?
No, I'm Well, if this doesn't work, let's blame it on the roadworks. I just haven't prepared well enough for this, even in my mind. This just is not quite. This just isn't the quality that I could do. This is just a bloody nightmare. But it's just not good enough.
Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there.
So that's what I call turping. Oh.
Well, my friends are gone and my hair is gray. I ache in the places where I used to play. And I'm crazy for love, but I'm not coming on. I'm just paying my rent every day in the Tower of Song.
The last exhibition I was at was Francis Bacon at the Tate. I just got this awful feeling that I was looking at a real artist, and I felt not fraudulent, but I started to think that my art just didn't stand up. And I remember feeling almost breathless. And I don't think I painted for about 2 weeks because I felt like a sham. And it took me 2 weeks to recover and think, no, Jack, you know, that's Francis Bacon, that's what he did. This is what you do. Don't get the two things confused.
Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling
Well, after yesterday's very disappointing day, I've decided to go back to my original idea, which was a full-size study of Cara. I can't promise you much today, but what I can promise is that this will come to life very quickly. Well, what I am going to do is to start to pick out the highlights in the car. That is to say, you know, the areas that the sunlight hits the car. Is it suddenly something that was kind of flat and 2D suddenly starts to kind of ping. I'm quite pleased with it. Right, so you pick up a bit of light paint, and you know what I do? I cross my fingers. I don't think there's much more I can do to this, so we'll stick it in the frame and see how it looks. I don't think it's the best painting I've ever done, but it's a study, and I think that it's whether, does this work? And I think it does. I think it does. I think that looks pretty good. I think it's quite a sexy little piece, you know, I mean, she looks great there, you know, standing waiting for her lover. So, well done, Jack. I wish sometimes that I could appreciate my success a bit more, but it's just not my nature.
If I had wings,
I've been blessed with a certain gift that is appreciated by people, and I'm cursed with this mind that doesn't quite ever give itself peace or give itself credit.
fairly well, honey, fairly well.
And to quote the bard, Leonard Cohen, he says that people think I'm miserable, you know, and that I'm suicidal, but he says I'm not. It's just that this is my mode, this is my personality. I like to examine religion, I like to examine love. The last thing I am is cutting edge. I just believe that you have a vision and you know what you want to do. Honesty, that I put a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Store.
I put a lot of store on honesty, yeah.
I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my bed. I've been sleeping in my bed.